Welcome to our deep dive today, all about minimalist fashion in, 2025.
Hmm.
We'll be looking at this brand new article from Vanessa Jane
Yeah.
called The Art of Effortless Chic, Mastering Minimalist Fashion in 2025.
Okay.
And get this, it was just published today, January 9th, 2025.
Wow. Hot off the presses.
So hot off the presses, yeah.
Yeah.
It's already making a big splash online, and I, for one, am so curious to get your take on this. Especially this idea that, less is more,
Hmm.
and how that can kind of go beyond our wardrobes.
Well, I think what's so interesting about minimalist fashion is that it's not just a trend,
Yeah.
Like it really reflects a much bigger change in what consumers value.
Mm-hmm.
I think people are just much more aware now of their impact on the planet.
Right.
And that's definitely driving this move towards, quality over quantity.
So you're saying instead of that, that closet bursting with fast fashion,
Oh, yeah.
it's more about having these really key pieces that you can, rely on for years to come.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, think about it as an investment.
Right?
If you spend a bit more on something that is well-made and timeless,
Mm.
it can actually save you money in the long run.
Mm.
You don't have to constantly replace things that fall apart.
Right.
And you'll always have, something that looks great to wear.
That's true. The article actually talks about this idea of a capsule wardrobe.
Yeah.
Which, honestly, it sounds really, really practical to me.
Yeah.
I tried to do it before, but I always kind of get stuck on what pieces to actually put in it.
Yeah. So the article suggests that you start with, one quality piece a month
Okay.
in a neutral color.
Okay.
That way you're building your capsule wardrobe without feeling like, oh my God.
Right. Overwhelmed. Yeah.
Yeah, totally overwhelmed.
Yeah.
So think like a blazer, a classic white shirt,
Yeah.
that perfect pair of black trousers.
That's a good idea, actually, because that takes the pressure off of I have to do it all at once.
It's a process, right?
It is.
And the article emphasizes that fit is so crucial in minimalist fashion,
Mm.
regardless of your size.
Yeah.
It's about how those clothes fall on your body.
Yeah.
It's creating that clean, almost like architectural silhouette.
Ooh. So maybe it is time that I finally get a good tailor.
Yes, a good tailor can work wonders.
I think you're right.
Especially if you want those cute pieces to just fit you perfectly.
Mm.
Really flatter your body shape.
Yeah.
It really elevates your whole look.
Hmm.
Makes those key pieces even more valuable to you.
I think what's interesting about minimalist fashion is that, it uses texture to create depth and visual interest.
Yeah.
I used to think it was all about just wearing black and white.
Oh, no. It's gone way beyond that.
Yeah.
The article, it mentions luxurious fabrics.
Hmm.
Like silk, satin, even like ribbed knit as a way to add detail without having to go for bold patterns or lots of color.
Yeah, that makes sense. Well, speaking of texture, what are some fabrics that you're seeing trending in 2025?
Well, natural fibers like silk and tencel
Mm.
are becoming very popular,
Mm.
especially amongst consumers that are, more eco-conscious.
Right.
They drape beautifully and they, feel fantastic against the skin.
Yeah,
And they are a lot more sustainable than a lot of the synthetic fabrics out there.
makes sense.
And what is really cool is that technology is now being used to come up with even more, innovative and sustainable options.
That's really cool. Can you give us an example of how technology is kind of influencing fabrics?
Well, imagine, a textile that adapts to your body temperature
Wow.
or repels stains,
Mm.
all while maintaining that sleek, minimalist look.
Mm.
That's the kind of innovation that we're seeing,
Wow.
in sustainable fashion.
That's amazing. It sounds like a sci-fi movie.
Right.
It really does.
It's very cool.
Well, who knows what they'll come up with next?
Right.
Okay, so we've got our high-quality basics.
Mm.
We're paying attention to the fit.
Right.
We're looking at textures.
Yeah.
But what about layering?
Right.
It seems like that's a key element when it comes to minimalist fashion.
Yeah, layering is, it's an art in itself. It's not just about staying warm.
Right.
It's about creating this visual interest with your clothes, especially within, more limited color palette.
Yeah. I will admit, I am always kind of intimidated by layering. Do you have any tips for a total novice like myself?
Well, it's really pretty easy once you get the hang of it.
Okay.
So start with a base layer, like a fitted
Mhm.
turtleneck
Mhm.
or a simple t-shirt. Then you add like a middle layer, like a sweater, maybe a button-down shirt.
Okay.
And then finally you pop it off with that outer layer, like a blazer or, even a coat.
Okay.
The key is you want to vary the lengths and textures while you're keeping that cohesive color scheme.
So let's say I wear like a black turtleneck as my base layer, and then maybe a gray cashmere sweater as the middle layer,
Beautiful.
and then a black blazer
Exactly.
to finish it off.
And you've created this effortlessly chic,
Yeah.
interesting look
Right.
with just 3 pieces
Right.
and, neutral colors.
Mm.
It's maximizing those few items to create lots of looks.
Yeah.
Which is, at the heart of minimalism.
Yeah, absolutely. We've been talking about sustainability, but I want to hear more about how it's really intertwined with minimalist fashion.
Yeah.
Is it just about choosing natural fabrics, or is there more to it?
It's more than that, I think.
Oh.
I think, consumers are just much more conscious now about, how their clothes are made, who's making them, and what happens at the end of their life cycle. So they're looking for brands that, prioritize ethical production and fair labor practices.
Yeah.
And of course, environmentally friendly materials.
Yeah. So it's like, it's not just about, just looking good. It's about feeling good about the choices that you're making.
Exactly. And that is where, this idea of circular fashion comes in.
I've heard that term a lot lately.
Yeah.
But can you kind of explain what that means? Like, in a nutshell.
Yeah, so circular fashion is about extending the life cycle of clothing.
Okay.
Keeping them in use for as long as possible.
Uh,
So think of it as, this closed loop system where clothes are designed to be repaired or reused or even recycled,
okay, yeah.
once they've reached, the end of their lifespan. So it's about moving away from that, traditional
Yeah.
take, make, dispose,
Right.
and really embracing a much more sustainable
Yeah.
approach to fashion.
It makes a lot of sense, actually.
Yeah.
I can already see myself, like, mending
Yeah.
a favorite sweater instead of just, like, throwing it out. Okay, so we've covered the basics of building this capsule wardrobe. We've talked about fit, texture, layering,
Yeah.
sustainability. But what about accessories?
Right.
What role do they play in all of this?
Well, accessories are a really great way to kind of add your own personal touch and elevate that minimalist look,
Right.
without going over the top.
Okay.
So it's choosing items that are functional, but also beautiful.
Okay. Yeah.
And complement your style,
Mm.
and that can stand the test of time.
Okay. So can you give me some examples of accessories that fit in with that minimalist aesthetic?
So think of like a sleek handbag
Okay.
in a neutral tone.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe some delicate gold jewelry like thin hoops or a pendant necklace.
Yeah.
And then, for your shoes, those classic leather loafers, or even some minimalist sneakers, These pieces can go with lots of outfits and will never go out of style.
So again, it's that quality over quantity.
Absolutely.
There, yeah.
It's about making those choices,
Huh.
not just filling your closet with stuff you don't need.
Right. Yeah. It's really amazing how this whole minimalist approach can go beyond just our clothes
Absolutely.
to our accessories even.
Totally.
But the article takes it even further, right?
It does, yeah.
Yeah.
It talks about how that less is more philosophy can be applied to, beauty, even our living spaces.
That's where it gets really interesting. I can't wait to hear more about that in part 2.
Yeah.
Welcome back to our deep dive all about, minimalist fashion in 2025. In part 1, we really kind of laid the groundwork for like building this capsule wardrobe. And we explored things like the importance of quality, fit,
Right.
and even touched upon, sustainable practices
Yeah.
that are going on in the fashion industry right now.
It's really interesting.
It is. And so now I'm curious, what do you think about the future of minimalist fashion? Where do you think this movement is kind of heading in the coming years?
Well, the Vanessa Jane article suggests that the future is bright
Okay.
and ever evolving. I think we're going to see even more emphasis on sustainability as consumers just, they're demanding more transparency.
Yeah.
They want ethical practices from brands.
So it's not just about the aesthetics anymore.
No. It's about, aligning your personal style with your values. And, consumers are putting their money where their mouth is. They're supporting those brands that are putting people and planet first.
Right. And I love that.
Yeah.
And it seems like technology is kind of playing a bigger role in fashion now, too.
It really is.
So how do you see that kind of shaping the future of minimalism?
Well, technology is totally transforming this industry. And we're seeing just incredible advancements when it comes to, developing new fabrics. I mean, imagine, like a textile that can actually regulate your body temperature.
Wow. Yeah.
Or repel stains, while still maintaining that sleek minimalist look.
Right.
I mean, that's the kind of innovation that we're starting to see now.
That's incredible. The possibilities are endless, it seems.
Yeah.
When you start combining fashion and technology.
Yeah, they really are. And I think we're going to see just more and more of these innovative and sustainable solutions kind of emerging, as designers.
Yeah.
And scientists work together to make these fabrics that are both beautiful, but also, super functional.
So it's not just about wearing like simple clothes.
Right.
It's like a whole new way of thinking about fashion even.
Right. It's a mindset. And I think, minimalism is becoming more diverse.
Okay.
More inclusive. We're seeing these blends of like, traditional craftsmanship with more modern designs.
Yeah.
It's not about having to conform to a specific look anymore.
Right.
It's about, finding your own way to express yourself.
Yeah.
Thoughtfully, in an intentional way.
The article touches on this kind of fusion of minimalist principles with cultural influences too.
Yes.
I thought that was really, really fascinating. Can you kind of tell me more about that? Like, what did you?
Oh, absolutely.
What did you get from that?
Imagine like hand-woven textiles from indigenous communities incorporated into these like, contemporary minimalist designs or maybe even traditional embroidery, used to create really subtle detailing on simple, elegant garments.
That's beautiful imagery, actually.
Isn't it?
It is.
It's taking, the best of different worlds and creating something really unique and really meaningful.
Yeah.
It's about celebrating diversity and craftsmanship.
Yeah.
And I think this fusion of different cultural influences is going to continue to shape the future of minimalist fashion. In really exciting ways.
Yeah. Throughout this whole deep dive, I've been thinking about how, these minimalist principles can even be applied to other areas of our lives beyond just, our wardrobes.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a mindset. It's a way of life. It encourages us to just really focus on what matters.
Right.
It's about simplifying and finding that joy in those essential things.
Yeah. The article talks about, how that less is more philosophy can even go to beauty and our living spaces too. So are you seeing that trend as well?
Absolutely, yeah.
Okay.
I mean, in the realm of beauty, we're seeing this shift toward like, natural glowing skin.
Yeah.
Subtle makeup.
Yeah.
It's about embracing your natural beauty, enhancing it in just really subtle ways rather than, masking it.
So it's about like, taking care of your skin.
Yeah.
Using makeup thoughtfully.
Absolutely.
Rather than just like following every single trend.
Exactly. A dewy, well-moisturized complexion is like the perfect canvas.
Yeah.
For that no makeup look.
Yeah.
That works so well with, minimalist fashion.
I love that.
It's refreshing.
It does. It sounds refreshing and effortless.
And when it comes to our living spaces, minimalism encourages us to create these serene, clutter-free environments that really promote peace and tranquility.
So no more like piles of clothes. Ideally not. On the chair in the corner of my room.
Yeah. It's about surrounding yourself with, only those items that serve a purpose.
Yeah.
Or that bring you joy.
Okay. And what about the overall aesthetic? Like what does a minimalist, home look like?
So imagine, furniture with those clean lines. neutral colors. Maybe incorporating natural materials like wood and stone.
Yeah.
To add warmth.
Yeah.
Texture, you know?
Yeah.
It's about creating a space that feels calming but inviting. A sanctuary where you can, relax and recharge.
I can already feel the stress like melting away.
Yeah.
Just thinking about that. So it's not just about the clothes. It's like this whole holistic approach to life.
It is.
That's centered around intentionality and simplicity, authenticity.
You've got it. It's about living intentionally.
Yeah.
And finding that beauty in every day.
Well, I'm definitely feeling inspired to like declutter my apartment.
Yeah.
And maybe try out some of those like natural beauty tips that we were talking about.
Yeah.
But before we get ahead of ourselves, I know we still have one more part of this deep dive to go.
We do.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
In part 3, we're going to get into the practical side of building that minimalist wardrobe. Tips and tricks, choosing the right fabrics, accessorizing.
Okay. Okay. So if you're ready to take your minimalist fashion journey to the next level, be sure to join us for part 3. Welcome back to the final part of our deep dive into minimalist fashion in 2025. We've covered so much ground already.
Yeah, it's been quite a journey.
It has. From the philosophy behind it all to how it impacts our wardrobes, our beauty routines, even our living spaces. It's amazing.
Absolutely. It really highlights how minimalism has evolved beyond just, fashion.
Right.
Into this intentional, sustainable lifestyle choice focused on self-expression.
Exactly. And I'm ready to get into like the practical side of it all.
Yeah.
Like really building that minimalist wardrobe. So what are the absolute must-have pieces?
Okay, so remember those high-quality basics we talked about?
Yeah.
That crisp white shirt, perfectly fitted black trousers, a versatile blazer.
Yeah.
Those are fantastic starting points. Timeless pieces, dressed up or down, perfect for any occasion. Really essential for a minimalist wardrobe.
And they seem so universally flattering. But I've always struggled with choosing the right neutral colors, for my skin tone.
Yeah, it's all about experimenting, really.
Okay.
Some people, they just, they look fantastic in those warmer neutrals, beiges, creams.
Others shine in those cooler tones like gray and black.
Right.
Just pay attention to how those different colors complement your complexion and make you feel.
Yeah. Makes sense. So once I've kind of figured out my go-to neutrals, how do I add like visual interest without, straying too far from that minimalist look?
Well, texture.
Right.
Texture is key. Incorporate luxurious fabrics like silks, satins, even ribbed knits.
Yeah.
Add depth and dimension to your outfits without needing those bold patterns or a ton of colors.
Right. And we talked about how those fabrics can create like a more sophisticated and elegant look.
Exactly.
But what about someone on a budget who might not be able to, afford the high-end silk, the cashmere? What are some affordable options that still fit those minimalist values?
Absolutely. There are so many. Look for those natural fibers. Cotton, linen.
Okay.
They're more breathable, tend to drape beautifully.
Yeah.
Tencel is fantastic. It's sustainable, derived from wood pulp. Right.
Or even recycled materials.
Oh, wow.
There's so many stylish and affordable options now that don't, compromise on ethics or quality.
That's really great. So I know we talked about fit being crucial, but what's the biggest mistake that you see people making?
Oh, wearing clothes that are too loose or too tight.
Okay.
Minimalism's about finding that sweet spot.
Yeah.
Where clothes skim your body without clinging or, feeling restrictive. A good tailor can help you get that perfect fit.
Right.
Especially if you have trouble finding those off-the-rack pieces that just work for your shape.
That's true. Now, layering, I think a lot of people are intimidated by that.
Yeah, it can seem daunting.
Yeah. Is it as complicated as it seems?
Not at all. Really, it's about playing with lengths and textures while sticking to a cohesive color palette.
Okay.
Start with a fitted base layer, like a turtleneck or the t-shirt.
Okay, yeah.
Add a middle layer, like a cardigan or lightweight sweater. And then finish with a blazer or a coat as your outer layer.
So I could layer like a cream-colored turtleneck under a charcoal gray cardigan, and then top it off with like a black blazer.
There you go.
For a more like polished look.
A polished yet effortless look.
Yeah.
And you've created this stylish and versatile outfit.
Yeah.
Just with 3 pieces.
Right.
It's about maximizing your wardrobe, getting multiple looks with fewer items.
Okay, so we've talked clothes. What about accessorizing? How do we add a little personality without going overboard?
Accessories, they're fantastic for elevating your look and expressing that individual style.
Yeah.
Choose a few key pieces that you love that really complement your wardrobe.
Okay. But what are some good examples of accessories that fit that minimalist aesthetic?
Think about it more like, intentionality versus deprivation.
Okay.
A sleek watch, a delicate necklace, some statement earrings. Those can instantly elevate a simple outfit.
Yeah.
And then for bags, a versatile tote, a structured crossbody bag in a neutral tone.
Okay.
Footwear, stick with those classics. Leather loafers, minimalist sneakers.
Right.
Drape them up or down.
So it's not about like avoiding accessories completely.
Wait, no, not
it's
yet.
about being more thoughtful.
Absolutely. It's about those choices, reflecting your style
Yeah.
and making you feel confident, put together.
This deep dive has really changed my perspective on minimalist fashion. I used to think it was about having this like bare bones wardrobe and wearing only black and white. But now I see it as, a way to simplify my life. Make more conscious choices, express my individuality through, a carefully curated collection of pieces that I really, really love.
That's the beauty of minimalism. It's about what works for you, creating that authentic, effortless style. And it extends beyond clothes,
Right.
to our beauty routines, our homes, our mindset even.
It's been so insightful, exploring this world of minimalist fashion in 2025.
It really has.
And I hope that our listeners feel inspired to embrace some of these principles, whether it's, decluttering their closets, trying out layering, or even just being more mindful about what they buy.
Absolutely. Taking those small steps toward, intentional and sustainable living.
Right.
Finding that joy in simplicity.
Well, thank you so much for joining me on this deep dive.
It's been my pleasure.
And until next time,
Stay chic and stay mindful.